We're rocking and we're rolling. Okay. What do we talk about today, Tony?
Well, we were talking about key phrases with insurance and things to look out for
Okay.
to make sure you don't get screwed by the carrier. Because as I've said all the time, carriers are not your friends. You know, captive agents are not your friends. They don't work for you, they work for the company. Whereas a broker like myself, we work for the customer. So some of the things we spoke about earlier in the presentation today was limited water damage. If you see that on your policy, you need to run, because that means you have a maximum of $10,000 in coverage minus your deductible. So if you have a $2,500 deductible, maximum payout you're going to get is $7,500.
Okay.
So, I mean, that could be detrimental to somebody, you know, especially if they have a kitchen or a bathroom that completely gets destroyed by a pipe bursting in the house. Because builder's grade, you're looking at about 25 grand for a builder's grade kitchen or bathroom.
Easily. Yep.
You know, if you have something a little more custom, the price just keeps going up from there. So that's one of the important things we spoke about. We also spoke about understanding your hurricane deductibles.
Speaking of hurricanes, because that's a fun topic.
Oh yeah.
What do you think is going to happen this year? You think we're going to have a lot of hurricanes this year?
I don't know. I wouldn't be too surprised because we had none last year.
I know. And it was supposed to be like the worst hurricane season.
We had no hurricanes for the first time since I've lived here.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which because that was the opposite of what they were predicting last year.
Oh yeah.
They were like, oh, the Gulf and the Pacific or whatever is hotter than it usually is. And
dude, I went diving down there. The water was 102 degrees at the buoy.
Right. That's crazy.
And that's 20 feet down. It was 102 degrees.
That's
no
insane.
wetsuit needed.
Right. That's like my jacuzzi right there.
Yeah.
Well, the question is like, okay, so let's just say we have some hurricanes because a lot of people are scared to move to Florida because they're scared of hurricanes. What does that look like for insurance? Like, what do people need to make sure that their house is covered? And then give me like an example of what would happen if a hurricane did come through and mess up somebody's house.
So again, I'll use the $400,000 mark. So say you pay 400 grand for a house. That's what your insurance covers it for. The lowest that I'm really seeing for deductibles is 2%. 2% of $400,000 is $8 grand. So if that hurricane destroys your home and damages your home, you're going to have to pay $8,000 out of pocket before the insurance will kick in any money.
Okay.
And a lot of those insurance companies will not do anything until the deductible is paid. So they want you to give them the deductible before they will pay anything out. Okay.
So what happens if a hurricane comes through and, so you said you got a 2% deductible and then we said $400,000 house. So a hurricane comes through and let's say rips off your roof. You know, that's what, 20 grand right there.
About 25 is average.
Let's say you get some broken windows or maybe a piece of your fence is missing. Like the insurance covers everything, right?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
That's why you got to have a good agent who knows what they're looking at and can explain things to you, because as much as I would love to say, yes, insurance covers everything, they put something in these called exclusions. There's a lot of policies that completely exclude mold and fungi.
Okay.
So say you have a water
intrusion
and you get mold. If you don't have an agent who put mold coverage in there for you,
right,
you're going to get $0 and you're going to have to take care of that mold yourself. And I know some mold and fire restoration companies. It ain't cheap. No, you're talking $8,000 to $10,000 just to treat the mold. That's not including any actual repairs.
Right. So that's why it's important to have somebody like you and not just pick a random insurance company or, whoever your lender gives you.
Right.
It's good to talk to somebody like you and shop it around and try to get the most coverage you can, especially if you're scared of hurricanes or storms here in Florida. I mean, I grew up here in Florida, so like hurricanes are fun to me. But a lot of people really are scared of hurricanes. And
man, every time we get a hurricane, the plywood's gone, the water's gone, the toilet paper's gone, generators are gone. People freak out. And most of the time, being as far inland as we are, we usually don't get it so bad.
Right, true. Yep. Central Florida is
Central Florida is probably one of the safest places when it comes to hurricanes, because by the time the eye of the storm gets here, it's already had all those miles
cut in half usually.
to downgrade.
Right.
So it only really builds strength over water because it's sucking up the heat and the moisture from that water to create the storm. So, like you said, I mean, people freak out over hurricanes. I've only had one hurricane that came through here that I actually evacuated for because the eye was supposed to go right over my house.
Mm-hmm.
And it did go over my house.
Just a lot weaker than it was. That the one?
It was a lot weaker.
Yep.
I think it was the one in 2018.
Okay. Yep.
I think it was actually Ian.
Hurricane Ian. Yeah.
I think it was actually Hurricane Ian.
Yep.
Actually, when I got home, I did have some damage. I had wood flooring in my front living room, mm-hmm. and I had wind-driven rain that came underneath.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And soaked my little floor mat there. And by the time I got home 3 days after the storm, because obviously we lost power,
right?
It had already started molding and bowing the flooring up. So, with that 2% deductible, my house is a $400,000 house. It was cheaper for me to just
fix it
myself because had I put a claim in, it would have been a no pay claim, mm-hmm. because to replace that floor was not $8,000.
Right.
Again, that's also why it's important to have an agent who knows what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. And the good thing about us is we shop everything for you because we work for you, the consumer, not the carrier. And I've always said carriers are not your friends. They're not going to help you out. Their job is to protect the money they get from you because it's
make
a
money.
Business.
Yeah, it's a business.
It's a business.
It's a for-profit business. Yeah,
exactly. But one thing that truly sets us apart from other agencies, and I have never heard of another agency that has this. I actually have an on-staff claims adjusting team, and I believe you've actually used mm-hmm. our claims adjusting team to help with an issue you had with your house. So, how many agents can you go to that say, oh, you have a claim? Do not call the 800 number. Call us. We'll put you in touch with our adjusting team. They will go over everything and evaluate it before it ever goes to the carrier so that we know that you're actually going to get paid for it. It's not under your deductible, and we can truly help you because the laws changed a few years ago. Now, a claim doesn't just stay with the property. It used to be just the property, and it would only stay for 5 years. Now, with the new laws, you're talking a claim staying with the property and the individual for 10 years. Mm-hmm. So if you have a claim in your current house, you buy a new house, 5 years from now, that claim from 5 years ago is going to penalize you on your new policy on your new home. Mm-hmm. And whoever purchases the house that you just sold to buy your forever home, they're going to be penalized because there was a claim on that property 5 years ago.
Interesting. Didn't know that. Tony, where can the people find you if they want to get in contact with you?
lakenona.greatflorida.com, or you can call us 407-270-8220. Thanks, buddy.
Get a bunch of clips out of that one. Good stuff.